It is a world ruled by numbers, which will be printed on everyone. In this world, numbers determine everything. People with larger number can order others to do anything, and they will be challenged by people with smaller number as well. The winner can snatch the numbers of the loser. Once the number drops to 0, the person will be swallowed by a dark hole. Hina bears witness to her mother's descent into the abyss, but not before entrusting her with a glass orb containing 10,000 inside and urging her to find the legendary ace with a white star. Hina spends 5 years searching it, until she encounters Licht, a masked and lecherous fool, and his superior Nana, who explains that everyone must obey orders from anyone with a higher number. Hina reveals that her own number, 441, reflects the distance she has traveled, totaling 44,100 kilometers. When Hina encounters a sergeant major with a star on his face, he declares himself as the legendary ace. Initially, he tries to assault Hina but changes his mind when she shows him the 10,000 orb. He mistakes it for a ballot and tries to steal it. Hina, with a higher number, orders him to stop, but he tricks her into a star stake, a game where they wager their numbers. The sergeant major defeats Hina handily and claims 440 of her points, leaving her with only 1. The sergeant major realizes that the ace has been dead for centuries and admits that he is not the ace. Licht suddenly appears and offers to bet his number, which is -999. During the fight, the sergeant major realizes that such a number is impossible unless Licht is a ballot holder who artificially increases his number. Licht reveals his true identity as Licht Bach, the legendary ace with a white star and a sword bearing the number of his defeated foes, which is 5,700. Centuries ago, during a global conflict called the Waste War, a group of warriors known as the Aces emerged, but they disappeared when the war ended. Licht demonstrates his incredible speed by defeating the soldiers effortlessly, causing the ground to shatter with each step he takes. Nana explains that while Licht's number, 5,700, reflects the number of enemies he has defeated, his negative number, -999, represents the amount of times he has been rejected by women. After easily defeating the sergeant and reducing his number to 1, Licht gives Hina hers back and even gives her a stuffed doll. However, he steals Hina's 10,000 ballots, and Hina is heartbroken over losing her mother's memento. Later, Nana reveals that Licht had actually hidden the ballot inside the doll and only pretended to steal it in front of witnesses. This was because ballots are illegal and Licht knew that the soldiers would only search for him, leaving Hina alone. Hina desperately tries to stop Licht from leaving, but he ignores her pleas. Frustrated, she yells at him that she hates him, causing his number to drop from -999 to -1,000. The army disregards Hina and begins searching for Licht, believing that he has the ballot. In a peaceful village, Master Sergeant Lynn May and her subordinate Sergeant Pele Poporo are stationed. Lynn spends her time volunteering and adding to her count based on the number of people she helps. After receiving a description of Licht, Lynn captures a masked man who happens to be Licht. In an attempt to conceal his identity, Licht discloses his -1,000 and sobs about his many rejections by women. Lynn takes Pele's advice and sets up a date with Licht to boost his spirits. Licht's inappropriate advances cause Lynn's count to rise, as he finds solace in groping her. After removing Licht's mask, Lynn realizes his true identity. Licht steals Lynn's sword, but soon discovers that she is a skilled fighter as well. During their scuffle, Licht's flirting frustrates Lynn to the point where he can make his escape by tricking her into thinking he will kiss her. As Licht reappears, Lynn chases after him in the village. A series of misunderstandings arise, causing the villagers to assume that Lynn and Licht are involved in a lover's spat. Licht manages to flee away once again when Lynn complains that her uniform is revealing her underwear. Despite Hina's urgency to warn Licht about Lieutenant Murdoch, they first need to rebuild Nana's wagon before setting off. When Murdoch and his soldiers unexpectedly attack Lynn, Licht comes to Lynn's aid and saves her from harm. Murdoch's nickname, Iron Jail, is derived from his number, which is revealed to be 900. His ballot allows him to create weapons made of iron. Licht is taken aback by Murdoch's strength, and Murdoch admits that he has been hiding his true number, which is 12,500, more than twice that of Licht. Although Murdoch manages to take Licht's sword, he promptly gives it back. He explains that his number represents his convictions and that his iron weapons are invincible because of his convictions. Murdoch uses his power to trap Licht, who then has to surrender. He accuses Licht of being a soldier based on his fighting style, but Licht remains silent. Murdoch plans to torture Licht, but Lynn intervenes and is injured in the process. Murdoch criticizes Lynn for prioritizing her charity work over punishing criminals. Licht breaks free from his restraints, demonstrating his ability to break Murdoch's iron. In the midst of their intense battle, Licht demands that Murdoch apologize for assuming that Lynn is lazy because she consistently works hard. As a result of their fight causing a cliff to collapse, Lynn falls, and while Murdoch tries to catch her, Licht reaches her first. However, Licht insults Lynn, causing her to become angry and reducing his number to -1001. Then, Murdoch takes her, and in exchange, he grants Licht his freedom. After Licht's battle with Iron Jail Murdoch, Hina and Nana track down Licht and inform him that all roads have been blocked. Hina shows signs of jealousy that Licht is risking his life for another woman and scolds him for abandoning her. Later, Licht sees a girl named Pelmo falling from an experimental airplane and saves her. Pelmo shares her dream of flying with Licht and Hina, asking them to help her realize it, despite the fact that researching flight is a crime punishable by death. Licht, though modifying her latest design, is still worried about Pelmo's safety. Despite Hina's admiration for his work, he fears that he might have placed Pelmo in harm's way. Hina inquires about Licht's aspirations, but he declines to disclose them and instead makes a lewd comment about wanting to see her underwear. Pelmo interrupts their conversation, announcing the completion of her new aircraft. However, their joy is short-lived as they are forced to destroy it by the arrival of the soldiers. Fortunately, the soldiers conclude that the wings were merely damaged windmill sails, and they depart. Pelmo then reveals that her count was based on her dreams coming true, but her aircraft failed to fly every time, resulting in a current count of 0. Despite Hina's efforts to save her, the abyss stops her. While Licht tries to rescue Pelmo, his sword is struck by the abyss, triggering a violent flashback. Convinced that the abyss is a gateway to another world rather than death, Pelmo happily enters it, promising to come back someday. Licht's left eye is filled with flashing numbers, leaving him almost unconscious. Even though he thinks about leaving, Licht ultimately chooses to stay after Hina asks him to stay by her side while she sleeps. Licht is caught by Lynn, who thanks him for saving her, but then tries to arrest him. Lynn and Hina meet each other and share their stories of how they know Licht, becoming upset with him in the process. They come across a soldier who has been injured in an attack that completely destroyed a neighboring town. Murdoch conducts a search for survivors, but finds none. The lake adjacent to the town has vanished beneath a vast chasm. A wounded soldier claims that a demon capable of breathing fire came out of the abyss. Murdoch is convinced that it is a voter with fire-based abilities. Lynn and Pele take the soldier to the next town for medical treatment and coincidentally encounter Licht, Hina, and Nana. Murdoch questions Licht, believing he knows something. Due to Nana's strong opposition to violence, Murdoch and Licht engage in a drinking competition. As Murdoch becomes increasingly intoxicated, he accuses Licht of being the legendary ace and demands to know why the army is searching for him. Licht encourages Murdoch to drink more, and Nana joins in. After drinking only one glass of wine, Lynn becomes drunk and asks about Hina's relationship with Licht. Licht and Murdoch eventually lose consciousness. Lynn and Hina both offer their laps as a pillow for Licht to rest. Suddenly, the lake abyss appears and causes damage to the town, accompanied by a strange noise. Murdoch orders the civilians to evacuate, while Licht identifies the sound. He says that the sound is impossible because all demons of this kind were eliminated during the Waste War. The abyss then opens, revealing that the demon is a modern helicopter equipped with machine guns and missiles, much to the surprise of Licht and Murdoch. Licht commands the group to seek shelter when the helicopter attacks, but Murdoch objects to Licht taking charge. When Licht discloses his military rank as colonel, it draws the attention of the helicopter, which confuses Murdoch, who questions how a criminal could hold such a position. As Licht attacks the helicopter, the group cheers him on, but he is hindered by the abyss. Lynn reveals that the military has named the abyss arms as Alting. During the helicopter attack, Alting attempts to grab the helicopter, but Licht keeps attacking and stunning Alting. Despite Hina's plea for assistance, Murdoch refuses to attack Alting, which carries a death penalty, and he won't let anyone break the law. But then Murdoch pretends to lose his glasses accidentally. Without his glasses, Murdoch attacks Alting, and the soldiers all lose their sight at the same time. A ladder is constructed for Licht to climb into the helicopter, but he is surprised by what he finds in the cockpit. Suddenly, Sonahara Mizuka, also known as the homicidal ace of pursuit with the number 32,000, shoots down the helicopter. After shooting Murdoch, she starts killing everyone, revealing her obsession with fulfilling Licht's final order from the Waste War, that is, to kill everyone. Sonahara reveals Licht's true identity as Rahido and demands that he return to his former bloodthirsty personality and kill her. If he refuses, she will kill a nearby child. Licht quickly eliminates Sonahara's men, and their bodies disappear. Hina and Murdoch finally learn Licht's true identity. He is the Plunderer, who aims to take control of the entire nation. Licht and Sonahara engage in a star stake, and Licht sustains multiple gunshot wounds to the chest. Licht's red power violently erupts, increasing his count to 57,000, and he moves too fast for Sonahara to track. Nana discloses that Schmelman, an evil alternate personality, has possessed Licht. Schmelman defeats Sonahara, causing her count to drop to 16,000 and leading Nana to suspect that Sonahara might also have been influenced by an evil personality. Nana utilizes her knowledge of Licht's past to explain that Sonahara, who was known to be the kindest of the aces and had never killed anyone, must have been drugged to fight Licht in order to awaken Schmelman. As Hina hugs Licht, Schmelman nearly kills her, but Sonahara comes to her rescue. Sonahara then has a flashback to their high school days in modern Japan when she and Licht were classmates. Despite the bullet in his chest, Murdoch stops Schmelman and challenges him to a fight. Schmelman breaks down in tears and reveals the reason why he kills enemies is that he doesn't want his friends to do so. Murdoch, in order to pay tribute to his commitment, engages in a fierce battle and constructs an iron warrior that defeats Schmelman, turning him back to his original form as Licht. Due to the injuries he sustained, Murdoch loses consciousness. A general recounts a darker variation of the tortoise and the hare to a group of children, and one of his soldiers discloses that he is General Schmelman Bach. Despite Licht's success in regaining his star stake with Sonahara, he is unable to depart due to unfinished business with Alting, and he begins to harass the girls except for Hina. Supreme Commander Alexandrov Grigorovic, Murdoch's doting but childish adoptive father, summons him. Murdoch inquires about the soldiers dressed in black uniforms who work for Sonahara. Grigorovic discloses that they belong to the Special Services Unit or SSU, which provides the royal family with spies, kidnappers, and assassins. Regarding Licht, Grigorovic shares that he was the strongest member of the most powerful squad, and that the Aces were genetically altered human weapons created for the Waste Wars. One of the side effects of the genetic alteration was that the Aces stopped aging, and that's why Licht is still alive. Unexpectedly, Grigorovic reveals that Murdoch's number has been decreased to 12,499, and he inquires about Licht's whereabouts. Murdoch deceives Grigorovic, causing the number to decrease to 12,498. Meanwhile, Grigorovic reveals that he knows the identity of the attacker of Alting. Later, Murdoch arrests Licht, who willingly surrenders. A nearby spy discloses that they intend to have Licht continue plundering. To determine if Murdoch is being coerced, Licht poses a series of questions that Murdoch repeatedly lies about, lowering his number to 12,496 before attempting to apprehend Licht. Nana, who is revealed to be an ace, uses an unexplained power to transport Murdoch, Hina, Pelmo, and Lynn to modern Japan, imploring them to change the past where she failed. In Japan, Sonahara and Licht, who was known as Rahito at the time, are high school students. Upon entering the school with Rahito, they encounter a troublemaker who confronts them. It is at this moment that Murdoch realizes he has lost his ballot and can no longer manipulate iron. Captain Allen and Lieutenant Farinda explain that after a global war, Japan is the only surviving nation, and the school they have entered is a military academy. The headmaster, Major Schmelman, begins to read his own version of the tortoise and the hare, then orders Allen to execute 3 recruits who are laughing. Schmelman instructs Rahito on how to break his own neck, but Rahito refuses and offers to die in place of Hina. Despite Schmelman's deadly aura, the situation is diffused by Farinda, who discloses that Allen used paint bullets to teach the recruits the significance of obeying orders, sparing their lives. While Murdoch is puzzled by the fact that Rahito obviously resembles a young Licht but looks nothing like his future self, Schmelman is fascinated by Rahito's potential. Pelmo is unable to conduct online research on Alting due to some sort of obstacle. According to Allen, Alting was an incredibly advanced technology of unknown origin that crashed to Earth during the war. All humans were forced to obey all things will through a voting system, which led to the destruction of nuclear weapons and a global ban on war. However, Allen refuses to discuss the unintended outcomes. Murdoch develops a suspicion that Nana has a greater goal beyond assisting Licht, which involves discovering the real origin of Alting and rescuing their future civilization. The story ends here. The numbers in the anime are just like the money and power in reality. The more money you have, the more power you have. Although the weak ones can challenge the strong with their effort, it is highly unlikely to win. At the end of the story, I want to ask you a question. Do you want to live in such a world? Comment below to tell me your answers. Well, today's video ends here. Please like and subscribe to my channel. See ya!